and every single state in this country is a border state.
That is the leader of the FBI.
The other thing I talk about in my book, and people aren't going to like this, but we got to start impeaching judges. The last check that we have on our Constitution used to be the federal judiciary. And now we've seen them weaponized against Jan 6, against GJT, and against so many other people.
And this is sports journalist Pablo Torre, one of the last of a dying breed.
This is not a debate.
Right.
These people deserve due process, equal protection. The 5 freedoms, as they say.
Torre, on his show, is going to break down the close relationship Patel has with the game of hockey, so close that he sits right next to NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman and Wayne Gretzky, even being stationed in the Great One's box at not just any game.
How did you like the game, sir?
It was historic. The game where Alex Ovechkin dethroned Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal record. Before we get to that, who is Kash Patel and what has he said? Well, to be clear, he was handpicked by the same man he plasters over his clothes, as seen here on his zip-up hoodie.
The one thing we learned in the Trump administration the first go-around is we got to put in all America Patriots top to bottom. And we got them for law enforcement. We got them for intel collection. We got them for offensive operations. We got them for DOD, CIA, everywhere. And the one thing we will do that they never will do is we will follow the facts and the law and go to courts of law and correct these justices and lawyers who have been prosecuting these cases based on politics and actually issuing them as lawfare. We will go out and find the conspirators, not just in government, but in the media. Yes, we're going to come after the people in the media who lied about American citizens, who helped Joe Biden rig presidential elections. We're going to come after you. Whether it's criminally or civilly, we'll figure that out. But yeah, we're putting you all on notice. And Steve, this is why they hate us. This is why we're tyrannical. This is why we're dictators.
Some of his hits.
You said that Donald Trump has every right to tell the world that in 2020, 2016, and every other election in between was rigged by our government because they were. Yes or no, did you say that?
I don't have that statement in front of me. But
okay, that was from August 27th, 2023 Thrive Time show. I'll put it on the record. These claims made in that statement were rejected by courts, including by Republican judges. Is that correct?
I don't have enough of the facts in front of me to make that assessment.
I will put that statement on the record, but I think everyone in this committee, including the Republican members, knows that these statements were rejected by courts. You were asked about the police officers in the Capitol who testified in the January 6 hearings, and you accused them of lying. Is that correct or not correct?
I don't think that's accurate.
Okay, Joe Packed Podcast, March 2024, we'll put it on the record. I was there. The police officers were heroes that day.
Yes.
Did you post on your personal social media account in May of 2024, January 6th, never an insurrection, cowards in uniforms exposed. They broke the chain of command.
I believe you're referencing a post that was shown in part earlier. I don't have it in front of me.
You posted it, and it was on your account, and we will again put that out there once more as we go on.
Yeah. Not good. Not good in the slightest. In his time as FBI director, Patel has made it a point to snap photos boarding Air Force One. At a separate event, he's parked right next to a racist, anti-Semite actor and director, by the way, Mel Gibson, and has even flirted with the idea of using the UFC to train his agents in the FBI to improve their physical fitness, reported ABC News.
I think it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, and I think it's a non-story, if I can be totally honest with you. The only part of the story that I find kind of interesting is it's remember earlier in this conversation I referenced to you that like part of what they're doing is becoming like a B2B business where they're just doing this government kind of contracting through tourism boards. Salt Lake City is a big one, as I mentioned, New South Wales, but you could just list a number of places where this is the case. They want to be paid to attend and they want to be paid handsomely, and that's where they're going to go. Again, contracted, guaranteed. I mean, there's some variability in that, but they lock these deals up well in advance. So, in whatever their fiscal calendar is, they have a clear sense of what's coming in and what's going out. It's got a guaranteed revenue to a degree. To me, it's like another way for the UFC to get government money.
That was Luke Thomas talking to myself on my podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the Rick Strom Show. We've also seen Patel's work schedule come to light. The Daily Beast reported Patel was quietly removed as the acting director of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives after he stopped showing up to facilities there. Then another report surfaced. He wants to work from home, which is located in Las Vegas, Nevada, some 2,400 miles away from D.C. This administration has lambasted the practice. Of course, they've been silent pertaining to Kash Patel. When he is or around D.C., he plays in a competitive men's rec hockey league via Torre's show.
In Northern Virginia, at the Washington Capitals practice facility, which is where Kash Patel's Dons at one point win 76 games in a row.
Wow.
And so we here at Pablo Torre finds out, reached out to one of his teammates, one of Kash Patel's teammates on the Dons, Bruce, offering the condition of anonymity because, he's talking about the director of the FBI. And what this teammate told us about how Kash Patel spends his time is that FBI officials, quote, know to leave him alone on Sundays. It's a well-carved out thing, end quote. He's going to be playing games for the Dons, and the FBI knows to let Kash Patel take the ice.
Torre would also report this tweet from Jeff Horseman of SoCal News Group showing Patel having his arm in a sling, where he said he was manhandling the deep state. Is not true at all.
But what really happened, we are informed, is that at the Dons championship game the year before, Kash Patel tore his bicep and didn't tell anybody. But because he is a hockey player, Bruce, because he is a genuine hockey guy, the Dons win. They take a team picture. He doesn't say anything to anybody. He, quote, pounded beers in the parking lot, end quote, and then got surgery and then presented this as a wound of kicking the shit out of the deep state.
A spokesperson for Kash Patel has denied this. That Gretzky photo that we showed previously?
The one game that Kash Patel was eager to miss for the Dons was, in fact, a couple Sundays ago when there he was on Long Island as the Islanders were playing the Capitals in New York with Wayne Gretzky. And one other thing we learned, Bruce, is that the Dons group chat was electrified.
Now, please recall, Pete Hegseth, J.D. Vance, and Michael Walls, to name a few, accidentally invited a journalist in on their war plans involving Yemen on an encrypted app called Signal. Torre would report the Dons, Patel's rec league team, do indeed have a Signal group chat of their own. There would be another league Patel played in, reports Torre, named the Congressional Hockey Caucus, which put together a game at one point that featured lawmakers against lobbyists. It was organized by Congressman Mike Quigley, who represents the 5th District in Illinois. He spoke to Torre on the record about the divide that even sports cannot seem to break through.
You try to have some common ground where you realize there should be more that unites this country than divides us. I would say with respect, it's different with this administration. I honestly see it as a retribution tour, and it's not our imagination. Mr. Patel has said they are going to go after the people who are enemies of President Trump. He talked about journalists. He had a list of 60 people. And I'm not making it up. What I'm telling you is sport can be a great uniter, a great healer, and something you forget and remind yourself you don't hate the person that you're working with here in Congress. But I would tell you, even hockey has problems bridging the divide with some folks.
Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYT Sports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.